Hello mamas, welcome back to Christmas crafting week. Today I'm going to be making little mini elf stockings. You can pretty much use any fabric. I've got some fleece here that I figured I'd try. I think it's anti-pill fleece. You could use just a woven. You could use, you could even use just like felt. If you wanted to do something with the kids, you could do felt and then hole punch the sides so they can just use like a yarn needle and weave it together with yarn. So many options. I made this little PDF. I'll put the link in the description. It's just got the cutting line and then the sewing line. You can rough it. You know, you don't have to do exactly. This is just really simple. It's just got the cute little curl toe. I thought it'd be a fun variation on the typical stocking. It's a good craft when you can, use fabric paint and paint your names or something. Go to a wide stitch if you're using a thick fabric. If you're using a thinner fabric, use a smaller stitch. If you want to use your serger, you could do the whole thing with the serger. It wouldn't even need a sewing machine. Gosh, very quick sew. Something really fun to do. You can do them different colors. That might be really fun. Like if you've got a bunch of colors of fabrics, do a bunch of them. Make them as a decorative piece. You could scale down the pattern and just like make them like little ornament size. Go slower around the curl at the toe. And when you turn it, you're going to want to trim it pretty close around the curl so that it's easier to turn. If you're using a two-sided fabric like this one, you want to sew with the nice outward sides facing inside because you're going to be turning it. So there's your base. You can trim really close to your line. Then for the top, for the cuff, you're going to want to take your fabric that you've cut. It's a 5 to 6 inch by 11 inch piece. You want the stretch to go this way if you're using a stretchy fabric. The same with the body here. You want the stretch to be this way so you can reach your hand inside. And then you can make it, this is the narrower, this is 5 inches, but you can do 6 inches, probably be a little more attractive for the cuff. What you want to do first is sew it facing, the positive sides facing each other. And then you're going to sew a seam down the side here to attach this first before you attach it to the body. If you're serging, you would just serge across. Now you've got your little top piece there, and you trim off any excess. And do the same for the foot here. So now you've got your sewn stocking. You take it, you turn it. If you want it to be a wider stocking than this ends up, you can just widen the pattern. Just sew a little outside the lines on the width, but not in height. You can use your bodkin or a screwdriver to help push out the point here. That's what I often do. Something that's got a little bit more of a point than your own finger, if you want it to be nice and pointy. If you're using a thinner fabric, it'll also be easier to get more of a point, but then your stocking won't have as much structure. So there's your little base elf turned stocking. See? And then for the top here, you're going to take this fabric, you're going to turn it this way. And line up the seam. Now it's a cuff. You're going to set it inside the top of the stocking. So I line up my seam with the back side seam. If you wanted to have it be a hanging stocking, you could put in a little piece of fleece with a loop right now. It would be a good point to add it and just have it sewn in with everything else. Or a piece of ribbon, that would work as well. Or you can sew in the hanging loop after the fact. You could even hand stitch it in. Okay, and that's all the sewing. Now you just trim it up and make it look pretty. Okay, then at this point, you're going to take it and you're going to turn the cuff to the outside, flip it over so that the brown is still on the inside. So it, like only a little bit. So if you want to do the thicker, like a 6-inch or even maybe up to an 8-inch trim piece, if you want it to fold down further. I did mine really small, but you could have this be a bigger, bigger vertical. Another thing you can do is take a piece of ribbon to decorate it. You could put a little tassel on the toe. There you go. Little elf stockings. I think I'm going to do like 4 colors. It'll be cute.